What's going on, guys? Hit that like and subscribe button. This is so funny. So, we're gonna take a long video and make it really short. This one is about fake news. But it's 3 separate videos. But it'll be quick.
Now to the news. A new report says, oops, after slandering the troops. It's official. Despite claims of the Biden White House and their media lackeys saying that our military is full of extremists, even their latest research shows that's a lie. And like a gay cousin, the report quietly came out right before Christmas, hoping no one would notice. And why? Because it showed no extremism in the military. Of course, if it had shown the opposite, it would be on the front of every news site like one of Taylor Swift's latest doomed relationships. The DoD commissioned this study, which was put out by the Institute for Defense Analysis. It, quote, found no evidence that the number of violent extremists in the military is disproportionate to the number of extremists in the U.S. as a whole. But you must remember back in 2021, Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin ordered military leaders to address this supposed extremist problem after Jan 6 because some veterans participated in the riot. And like maggots on a bone, boy, did the media eat this up. Here's MSNBC, quote, extremism in the military is a serious national security threat. The GOP needs to act like it. Here's CNN. The military has long had an extremism problem. I guess that's called winning wars. What will it do now to finally solve it? And NPR, the military confronts extremism one conversation at a time. So without defining extremism, they say it exists. And why? Because it didn't exist. In other words, they had to create something from nothing, which is the same job faced every day by those in charge of Biden's campaign. But you know what's extreme? Lying about people who signed up to serve their country. But are we really that surprised? This is an administration that smears first and investigates later, if at all. Remember the border agents supposedly whipping migrants when they didn't? Biden trashed those agents and the media applauded. And when the truth came out, no apology was given as the media quickly buried it like a cat turd in a litter box. And why? Well, they were using American citizens to create a lie that our country is rife with racist hate. Therefore, voters would need to cling to Joe and the Dems for safety. In absence of sound policy or ideas, that's all they have. But now, once again, that's shown to be full-on BS. And now the media refuses to cover it. They refuse to defend our maligned troops. Meanwhile, when it comes to the Epstein court filings, the media bends over backwards to point out that all the famous names mentioned weren't accused of any wrongdoing. Apparently, it's innocent till proven guilty when it comes to Epstein's pals. But if you're a Border Patrol agent, a MAGA supporter, or in the military, you're guilty as smeared. If only our troops had better lawyers. Meanwhile, about Epstein, it is weird that Biden hasn't said a thing about that. Perhaps because whatever happened on that island hits a little too close to home. Pete, you're a U.S. Army veteran, or so you claim. This should piss you off because when this accusation was put forth, that premise was universally accepted in the media and by people who dare not even question whether there was any data.
And universally accepted by generals.
Yeah.
So take Mark Milley and Lloyd Austin. Okay, if this military is so racist, if our ranks are full of extremists, Who was in charge over the last couple decades?
Yeah.
Where have you been? All those racist platoon leaders and staff sergeants that you've been running around allowed to be skinheads and Ku Klux Klan inside the military. What you been doing about that? They were, like they've been doing for decades, kowtowing to their political handlers who are more interested in social justice or whatever new ism is involved. And so they're running around talking about white rage and studying Ibram X. Kendi about a problem they know doesn't exist. Because if you've been in units, as I have been very recently, in fact, I was holding a riot shield outside the White House during the riots of summer of 2020. It's a little odd when you're standing shoulder to shoulder with black guys and white guys and Hispanic guys, and the White House is behind you, and there's real extremism in front of you, and real racial animosity. You can't imagine what I heard from these people toward black soldiers.
Yeah.
What the Antifa and BLM rioters were saying to the blacks, that was real racist. And what we were doing, standing shoulder to shoulder, we're saying it doesn't matter what you're. That's what all the leaders of the Pentagon know this. They knew this was a sham. So then they do the study, which confirms what we all know, that they're actually less racist in the military because you're taught to focus on merit and your responsibility, and then they bury it and don't want to talk about it.
Yeah. Amen.
Yeah, that's pretty true. It's all about the guy next to you. And then this video. So that was CNN, MSNBC. Who the fuck watches that shit?
13 years. 13 years has been tweeting negatively about me because he doesn't like me. So half the stuff he talks about didn't even exist. The guy doesn't like me, and now you're going to run with this on the Washington Post. And anybody who's listening to this to think you were going to give me a fair chance when you're leading to our sponsors before you talk to me is crazy.
Okay. Can we set up a time to talk tomorrow? Would that be okay? Like, I want to talk to you. I really do. I just want to make sure, like, I've got all my questions ready and stuff to talk to you about. Would that be okay? Can we set up a time?
I want to see the article before you do it.
No, it's not really. We can't do that. And
Why
also,
can't
like,
you do? Why can't you do that? Because all I do is I validate all the stuff you're about to make up against me. I have been hit with the same things over and over, and they're all so wildly out of context. It's insane to say at this point in the game when you've already written to the sponsors. Let me say it again. Dave Portnoy has a history of misogenic comments and other problematic behavior. I catch you off guard on a phone call, and now you're like, no, we planned on talking to you tomorrow. Like the Washington Post, which is a wildly left-leaning publication, you have things you've said. You hate Trump, you hate Elon. Not that I'm those people. To think you're going to give me a fair shake. I wasn't born yesterday.
I mean, I wanted to talk to you, and as part of my reporting, like, we haven't written this story. We won't have written it by the time we talk to you. Like, this is talking to you. I would hope is going to be a big part of our reporting and a big part of the story. So I'm really hoping I do that, but I want to give you a chance. If we're going to, anything specific we're going to include in the story, but I just don't have it all in front of me because I'm working with another reporter, and I want to make sure that we, have as full a conversation as we can.
What was the thesis of this article you're writing?
I don't work with theses. I'm just reporting. It's just, you're an interesting guy. You have an interesting role in this industry, and we just want to look at it. That's all.
It seemed like you were going to try to shame sponsors for being associated with me and put them in a box when I know they all love me, but nobody wants the Washington Post writing an article, sponsor associated with misogenic, racist piece of shit. Nobody wants that. That's what you're trying to do. And even on this call, it's pretty clear that's what you were trying to do. You don't have the facts for me?
What I might have said on this call that would give you that impression. All I've said on this call.
Well, we started the call with you saying you never said anything negative, and then I read back an email like, "Oh, I did on that one."
I said that I sent a number of emails, and that one was the most pointed because I was really trying to press them to respond. But I really, in what I've been asking people about, I'm just asking people what they're doing. I'm just asking people about, how they came to participate and how they view it. That's
now, but you could have just as easily said, What's your involvement? Are you proud to be involved with somebody who has done so much for the pizza and service industry, right? That could have been an email.
Can we set up a time tomorrow to talk? I mean, really, I wanna get into all of it.
Well, I don't know if I trust you yet, so I'd want more. I want to see everything that you've been asking these people. Like, again, I don't think there's generally why I don't do this at the last minute is because if you really wanted to get my perspective, it wouldn't be me calling you. You would have already reached out to me in a fair manner. Hey.
So that was that Dave Portnoy guy. So he was getting smeared by the Washington Post, but he found out ahead of time. So he called the reporter and was like, hey, fuck you.
So again, so the American people can understand this, that report by the New York Times was not true. Is that a fair statement?
Yeah, in the main, it was not true. And again, all of you know this, maybe the American people don't. The challenge, and I'm not picking on reporters, about writing stories about classified information is the people talking about it often don't really know what's going on, and those of us who actually know what's going on are not talking about it. And we don't call the press to say, hey, you got that thing wrong about this sensitive topic. We just have to leave it there. I mentioned to the chairman the nonsense around what influenced me to make the July 5th statement. Nonsense, but I can't go explaining how it's nonsense.
Thank you.
Mr. President. Mr. President, with me.
So again,
Do you have a...
I have been authorized by the Department of Justice to confirm that the FBI, as part of our counterintelligence mission, is investigating the Russian government's efforts to interfere in the 2016 presidential election. And that includes investigating the nature of any links between individuals associated with the Trump campaign and the Russian government, and whether there was any coordination between the campaign and Russia's efforts. As with any counterintelligence investigation, this will also include an assessment of whether any crimes were committed. Because it is an open, ongoing investigation and is classified, I cannot say more about what we are doing and whose conduct we are examining.
See it live? See, that's bullshit. That's what they do. They just say random shit. They don't even have any facts. Where's the...
Tom, I'm currently 10 miles outside of Beaverton, unable to get inside the town proper. We do not have any reports of fatalities yet, but we believe that the death toll may be in the hundreds of millions. Beaverton has only a population of about 8,000, Tom, so this would be quite devastating. Any word on how the survivors in the town are doing, Mitch? We're not sure what exactly is going on inside the town of Beaverton, Tom, but we're reporting that there's looting, raping, and yes, even acts of cannibalism. My God, you've actually seen people looting, raping, and eating each other. No, we haven't actually seen it, Tom. We're just reporting it.
haven't seen it. We're just reporting it. It's pretty much what they're doing in real life. But yeah.